All right, staying with that story about the taxi strike in Cape Town, we now cross over to our reporter, Vanessa Poonah, who is indeed in Cape Town. And she was inside that room when SANTACO was giving a media briefing and giving us an update. Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we have seen that press briefing, and we now know that there will be no taxis tomorrow for the commuters in the city of Cape Town.
Yes, good evening to you, and indeed that is the case, as has been confirmed now by SANTACO's leadership here in the Western Cape, telling us that the reason for this is that they are now seeking legal counsel. They're going to court, in other words, to apply for an interdict against the city of Cape Town. They want the impounded vehicles released. They also did say that they are awaiting feedback from Minister Chikunga, Transport Minister, who a short while ago had met with, we understand, the Premier of the Western Cape to come to some sort of agreement. I can tell you that the Minister has arrived back here at the offices of SANTACO in Bellville in the Western Cape. They are going to embark on a closed-door meeting, once again the leadership of SANTACO with the Minister to determine or to discuss what had taken place during her discussions with the Premier. But of course, SANTACO earlier telling us that even though positive outcomes may have been reached, they felt it was incumbent on them at this stage to inform the public that there will be no taxi services come tomorrow morning. They've also apologized for the inconvenience to commuters, but they say that what they call the illegal impounding of vehicles has an impact on their operators, and this is why they want these matters to be resolved.
And Vanessa, perhaps if you can just give us a bit of insight there when it comes to that legal action. We know that they are filing an urgent interdict there in that regard. When it comes to the impounding of their vehicles, what more are they saying when it comes to how their vehicles were impounded? Are they going to be challenging that as well?
Yes, indeed. That was one of the questions that was raised during the media briefing just now. The question about, for example, the taxis that had blockaded the N2 as part of the strike action. The question was whether they believe that too was an illegal impoundment. SANTACO saying that they will take the impoundments of all the matters under review as part of that urgent interdict. What they're wanting is to ascertain of why those vehicles were impounded, under which act those vehicles were impounded, because the question we asked them, they've claimed that over 6,000 of their taxis have been impounded. They don't know at this stage how many of those, according to SANTACO, were indeed impounded under what they call the different act, the one other than the National Land Transport Act and the city bylaws, for example. We do know that early on and throughout the course of this week, the city has time and time again said that they have not impounded any taxis under their bylaws, but they have impounded the taxis under the National Land Transport Act. So, as it stands at this point in time, that seems to be a matter of contestation, and this is why SANTACO says that they will apply for that urgent interdict. So, for the next 48 hours, according to the statement that they released shortly before their briefing, they have asked the public for patience, because it will take about 48 hours for them to bring that urgent interdict.
And what is the word coming out from the city of Cape Town itself? I know that we just played a package from you earlier on, of course, following that prayer service that took place. You know, is there an appetite to find a solution? I know the city of Cape Town even saying that, well, the streets are quiet and calm seems to have been restored. But, you know, what are they saying to try and find a solution to ensure that commuters do have reliable transport?
Yes, exactly that. The latest that we have from the city is indeed that interview that I did with Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis at the St. George's Cathedral this afternoon during that, or just after that prayer service. SANTACO has denied receiving any letter from the city of Cape Town. We have seen some communication floating around. We have not been able to confirm from the city of Cape Town whether they have indeed written to SANTACO. And SANTACO then telling us just now in that meeting media briefing, they have not received any official document or word from the City of Cape Town requesting any meeting with them. So the latest information or the latest update that we do have from Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis is that if calm prevails, of course, over the next, this evening and into tomorrow, that they would consider resuming talks with SANTACO. Of course, now that the strike has been extended, if one can call it that, we will have to go back to the City of Cape Town to ask them whether, the earlier statement still stands.